we've said this before publicly. You guys all know this. Everybody's waiting for this, but there will come a time where you can take your cows out of the DC marketplace and move them to other marketplaces. The Palm network is fully EVM compatible. The EVM, the Ethereum merge is happening, right? ETH2 is coming. Dan, our CEO, was leading the largest team working on Ethereum 2. Like, NFTs are designed to move. We don't want them to be stuck on the DC platform forever. We don't. DC doesn't. Nobody wants that. We've got some exciting announcements coming on that in the near future.
We the night watch, we them back cows. We the night watch, we them back cows. If there's any trouble, we'll back down. We the night watch.
Yo, what's going on, my heroes, my villains, my fellow cow collectors, and everybody else on YouTube? It's your bromie, the Cam, back at it again with another Bat Cow video. Ooh.
Welcome back, heroes. Hey man, look, you gonna regret not owning a Bat Cow in the near future. Once again, I, the Gale, have curated a video for your education pleasure. I cut out all the fluff of the last AMA that we had with Matt Mason. So in this video, you're going to get back-to-back facts on why you will regret not owning a Bat Cow before the year is up, most likely. So either you're going to listen to this or you're not. So without any ado, let's breeze into it.
Like a quick overview on what's going on with Cowls. I mean, we're like 6 months into this, guys? I don't know, it seems like years. The project dropped earlier this year in April, and we launched with, you know, a very ambitious sort of two plus year roadmap of like an amazing fan journey, a comic.
I saw that. I was like, yeah. Oh my god. Oh, sorry, keep going.
No, that's it. I mean, I think we're thinking along the same lines you guys are. It's just like, how do you, when you're building NFTs for everyone, like how you gotta show the general public, like, why should I care? What, you try to sell me a JPEG? This is stupid. I don't understand. Like, we see that feedback on so many NFT projects out there in the world. Especially NFT projects targeted at a wider fan base, and we really think it's like we at Palm and working with DC, and you know, this is how we sort of feel with a lot of our partners. It's on us as an industry to sort of really show the world why these things are so good, not just tell people, or not just, you know, if people see PFP projects that are super complicated from the outside, I think it's just alienating a lot of people. Like, you know, I love a lot of those PFP projects personally. I love the super complicated things, but building something for a large fan base with a really, really easy to understand roadmap, and like you can see why this thing is valuable and why being part of this community is valuable. I mean, I know that's what you guys at Autograph are doing, and yeah, we're definitely sort of thinking along the same lines. We've got a Bat Cow comic that is part of official DC canon that will be dropping shortly. The COWL community has been working together with DC, voting on every decision, from, you know, like, what's the sound effect when Batman hits someone, to like pass the storyline to the title of the comic, everything. So really like a super interactive fan journey there. We've got a Harley Quinn drop coming up. I know there's going to be some questions on that. I can't say anything just yet, but I promise I'll get you guys more. I'll get you guys the alpha on that as soon as I can, hopefully this week. But that's coming this month. We can't say too much more about that. That Harley Quinn drop is the start of something that I can't say anything about just yet, but it's the biggest thing we're doing this year. Bigger even than the Cowls project. And the Cowls are going to be at the front of the line for that. So there's a ton of stuff going on. You know, we've got a multi-year roadmap that we're working on with DC that incorporates the Bat Cow collection, incorporates some of the other collections we did, like Fandom last year, which at the time was the largest NFT drop in history, and really trying to build out this this whole Web3 platform with DC to really bring their fans in. And I think there's going to be, like you said, it is so early, and there are so many opportunities to collaborate, and any way we can find ways to bring value to your community, to the Cowls community, and just do cool stuff and show people why blockchain is fun and why it's awesome. We're all here for it. We've got the hard bit's always the plumbing. It's always okay, this is on the Palm chain, these bits are on Polygon, this is on layer 1. There's always that's the downside of being early, is like we're all dealing with a lot of plumbing where we still need some great layer zeros and stuff in the mix. But I'd love to do it. I'd love to find a way to bring these communities together, because I see what you guys are building, and it's exactly what we're about. It's the kind of stuff that helps this whole industry grow.
Thank you. And the next question will be for Matt. Mr. Mason, sir, a question for you as far as the comic experience has been great. I've been watching the whole entire experience from the outside looking in, and I've been loving it. As far as getting the content, as far as the community goes, as well as maybe getting some of your artists, because comics is obviously a classic way of storytelling. Movies would be another, but that's a little big ass, and that's a big budget. So more so, do you guys ever see something? Have you guys ever seen like those automate video comics? Where there's still a voiceover, but it's a comic playing through, and then it's a voiceover background for the characters reading the lines of the comic. Has that ever crossed your guys' mind as far as creating that fan base experience, creating that comic, and then maybe getting an artist to do the artwork, and then maybe getting some of the communities, or even maybe some of famous voiceovers to play some of the characters in that, as far as creating that fan base experience?
No, there's so much I wish I could say right now that we're working on, but yeah, it's definitely crossed our minds. Obviously DC's got a lot of different ways that they've told stories on different platforms over the years that absolutely lend themselves to what we're doing. I'll sort of the only sort of filter I can really offer is like everything we think about with them is whatever it is that we're doing. Like they've got 83 years worth of history and stories and different things that we could make into NFTs. The question is always, how is this leveraging blockchain as a creative medium? How are we showcasing what Web3 is about? How are we doing something that shows fans who don't understand why Web3 is exciting, why it's exciting? Like, if it's not magic, if it's not something here that people can just sort of see. Dylan was saying earlier about how communities see each other now, right? With a Web2, we could all follow our favorite this or our favorite that, and now you can see everybody, and you know that they care as much as you do. And that's this community. That's every NFT community. So there's these, like, how do you do these things where, okay, it's a comic, it's a film, it's an animated comic. Okay, great, we can use it. Got it. We got the rights are there. But how do you do it in a way that makes it more exciting and brings another dimension to it? Web3. So that's that's the kind of stuff we try and think about with all this. But yeah, watch this space. There's something coming. I think you'll be excited about.
Awesome, thank you for that. And then last part, sorry, I don't mean to hog the question, but Matt Mason, as far as that Snapchat filter, that's where my picture comes from. By the way, is a freaking fun filter. I played with the kids. Are you able to share any of the analytics as far as how many times that filter was used or that filter was accessed during that time period? Is that something you're able to share?
Yeah, I can. It's public. It was public on the Snap Lens store, but the back Cowls filter, the one that you've got on in your profile pic, where anyone could go try it, that was number one in the Snap Lens store for like a month straight. You guys were in there. Everyone was in there. So like that was amazing to see. And I think, thank you for reminding me. I don't think we've made enough noise about that. But these proof points are the things that, we need to all share more, like in terms of growing Web3. Like these are the important things. Yeah, that was super popular. People were into it.
Real quick question on the traits, man. Are they just for rank, or is there something special coming with the traits?
That's a good question. Look, the great thing about NFTs is you can always go back and decide, right? The traits are there, and that's the foundation. So if you want to then add something later, or if you want to plan something based on certain traits, you can go and do that. So that's all I can say on that without giving away too much about what we're doing or too much about what we might do in future. But we built Cowls as a foundation to build a lot of other experiences on, based on how that metadata works.
I understand. Thank you. That kind of explains my next question about being on the Unreal engine. Thanks, man. I appreciate everybody so much.
Thank you.
First of all, thanks for this space, Legacy. It's been really cool listening in. Matt, my question was for you. First of all, like the last utility drop is really mad, such a fat stack, and it's Christmas again, another 52 days, and another 52 days as a Batman fan. It's really been amazing. My question was around, the marketplace. I know you guys have made some, great improvements to the marketplace, and the market's on fire, like there's a new record sale every couple days now. I was wondering if you guys had a plan to release a API for the NFT universe marketplace. I know you have an API for transactions on the blockchain and stuff with Palm, but not with like market listings and stuff like that, because there's a lot of us who live on the market now pretty much sometimes and try to sort through stuff, and I would love to do some analytics and make a tool for the community, So I was wondering if there was a plan of having a public API for the marketplace data, like the listings, etc.
Yeah, that's a great thought. It's something we've talked about. It's not something I can't give you a date on when that's happening. Probably not this year, or probably not in the next 6 months, I would say. I love that. There's so much we've got to build in the next sort of 6 months to sort of grow to a wider audience. I love the idea of actually surfacing that API. It's the tension with our what we're going to build is always how many people are going to use this. Like, what's the trade-off? If we build that now, what don't we build now? And man, I gotta tell you, there's just so much that we're working on that we've been, as you guys know, completely tight-lipped about. But behind the scenes, there's just so much happening right now that when you see it, that's what they were doing.
I really appreciate that answer, and shout out to Bot COWL, who's fulfilling some of those needs for now. Really, really vital part in the whole process. So shout out Bot COWL.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Matt? Thanks again for still being here. I really do appreciate it, man.
Yeah, sure thing, man.
Yeah. So check it out, right? With these sigils and everything, some people are confused if you need to match. Not necessarily need. Obviously, there's been some wording regarding sigils that you can use the sigils on their own. You can access districts on their own with just Cowls, and you can combine sigils and Cowls. Do say obviously you can't be giving out financial advice, but collecting say 10 Cowls with different district numbers in the back and matching up sigils, is that something that people should be looking to do if they want to get the fullest experience?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think all I can say, I'm trying to think. If the General Counsel of Palm, if Diana Stern was on this basis, what would she be telling me right now to say? You're right. I can't give out financial advice, and all I'll say is anything you collect, collect because you're enjoying collecting it, and for the actual piece itself. And if you want to get all of the, collect all of the night watches or all of the fandoms, definitely go do that if you would like to have that entire collection. And I certainly I'm doing that, right? Like, I collect things because especially the fandoms, I love sniping a fandom at a good price. There's nothing like it, right? But yeah, again, look, we're laying a lot of foundations, and right now, if you want to be accessing everything going on in every neighborhood, you need every Nightwatch NFT. But for future things, I don't necessarily think we build them that way. Like, one thing I'm always trying to be cognizant of is there's a line between it's fun to collect all these things and celebrate when people do that and reward them for doing that, but you don't want to make it so like, for this to be fun, I've got to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on all of this different stuff to go and do this. Like, that is one of my least favorite things about the NFT space and where it is right now. Like, every time I see a drop from a big blue chip collection that I know most people in the space missed out on, and the only way to get the next thing is to have the first thing, this is just the same 10,000 people becoming millionaires over and over again. What about everybody else? Like, I don't like that stuff. Like, I'm always advocating away from that, and I know everyone at DC feels the same, right? So we're thinking always is, how do we make this more accessible? So the answer to that question is never going to be, well, let's make this a thing where you've got to collect all 10 of these things, and only if you do that and only do that, do you then get this super, super cool thing. I think the most exclusive thing you're ever going to see us do was the Bat Cowl collection.
Hey.
Right, and look, I want to always give future access and benefits to Bat Cowl holders.
Yes, sir.
But not at the expense of every other DC fan, not at the expense of growing this community, because that's going to be the thing that grows this for all of us, whether you've got a cowl or not, right? Like, we've got to make this so, yeah, the cowls are the crown jewels, but everybody else can come here and have fun and get involved. So that's just sort of generally how we approach things.
Thank you for your answer. I really do appreciate that, Matt.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Cosmo.
Hey, Matt. Big shout out to you. Thanks for coming. Always a pleasure to have you. I'm going to ask you a question that maybe you can't answer, but if you can, greatly appreciate it. When you say the drop, is that going to be an airdrop or a minted drop?
It's going to be a minted drop.
Awesome. And the decision...
Oh, wait a second.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry. Your question was, the Harley drop, is it going to be an airdrop or a minted drop?
Correct.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The answer to your question is actually yes.
What?
Yes, it's an airdrop?
Yes, it's an airdrop. And yes, it's a minted drop.
What does that mean?
Okay.
I can't else.
I got you. No.
What does that mean?
That helps a lot. Much appreciated. And we are still waiting.
Wait. I got to make one more thing clear. Wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Here we go.
If you have a cowl, the answer is yes. If you don't have a cowl, the answer is it's a minted drop.
Oh, okay.
Because you'll pick it up in the aftermarket.
No. Sorry.
Okay, back at me. I guess
there's some alpha in there to figure out, but I can't really go too deep.
I got it. And we still don't know whether it's going to be one per cowl or one per account.
What up, Tron? What up, everybody? Better get you a
We haven't announced that yet, but I'm working really hard on that because I know everybody wants to know. Look, like it's like Dylan was saying, like when you're building these massive NFT projects with really, really massive, amazing companies and IPs, sometimes there's a lot of layers of things you've got to do to get information out. It's just the nature of how it works. Sometimes I really want to tell you guys things, and I can't quite do it until all the ducks are in a row. But that's my biggest priority this week, is getting those ducks in a row for you all.
Great, much appreciated. And you know it's our job to always put the tripwires and hope you get caught on one.
Got to do it. Got to do it.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Matt. Greatly appreciated.
Appreciate it.
Sure on that one. And a quick question here. Would we be able to have any, will we be experiencing any of this project, this 2-year roadmap, in any VR?
That's a really good question. I mean, look, 2 years is a long time. We haven't got to, or like, there's so much on the roadmap. There's this, I think I talked about this before, when we were launching the project. We've got this, like, oh God, I don't even know how long it is. It's like 20 pages long document of all the things us and DC just put our heads together. Like, what are all the things we want to do that we can imagine now? And these are them. And I think a page of that made it onto the 2-year roadmap. And a lot of the things we had to take out, because it was like our lawyers were like, no, like, we can't even talk about that yet. There's no guarantee we can even do that. Like, sure, like, keep it in your back pocket, but like, don't put it on the roadmap now. Don't put that on the drop site. So we didn't. But yeah, I mean, look, the thing we did say publicly is these Cowls are designed to be Metaverse ready. Like, there was a reason that we went and worked with Daz 3D on these Cowls. If you know about Daz 3D, the team at Taffy, they designed Clone X. They run one of the biggest 3D marketplaces in the world for 3D assets. They've been around 20 years. Like, they are the best people in the business if you're trying to design a social object connected to the blockchain that you really, really want to be around for a long time, and that you want to work in every possible conceivable place where you might want to wear that cowl. And that's why we went and worked with them. They're just that we built with them so that these Cowls, these are like Technics 1210s or AK 47s. Like, these just fucking work, and they're gonna work for a long, long time.
Message.
Regarding that Harley Quinn airdrop mint thing, as a DGen, I would love like a 48-hour whitelist, one per cowl type of mix. I just love hitting that mint button. That's just a suggestion that just came up from previous conversations you just had.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can feel me on that. But my question was regarding DC. I've been curious to know, like, you're working with them. You're like huge Web3 guy. Are they like full on, let's do this Web3 thing? Or are they like still like Web 2.5 ish? Or, where would you say they are on the scale? Are they like, let's do it. If we can do it, let's do it. If Warner Brothers says yes, we're all in. Or are they like still a little, hesitant? You know what I'm saying?
Nah, listen, I've got so much respect for the way that everybody at Warner Brothers is approaching Web3. And look, we work with and talk with, too much, all of the studios. We've at least had conversations with, and are pretty deep with them, and understanding of like where's everybody at in terms of Web3. And I don't think I'm saying anything that's not public information, but Josh Hackbarth's job title is head of NFT commercial development at Warner Brothers. And to my knowledge, there's no other VP or SVP level or above executive at any other studio with the letters NF and T in their title. That means a lot, right? And Josh has a team, and there's another team at DC that's all about NFTs that works closely, very, very closely with Josh. Amazing teams that we've been working with for a really long time. Look, they're pushing the envelope, and the thing you got to understand with the studio, like studios are hard work. Like it's so hard to move anything across the line. I used to run an innovation lab at Sony Pictures, so I'm not saying this about Warner Brothers. I'm saying this about studios, and we've worked with all of them for a while. Look, it's a big organization. That it can be very difficult to do the type of things that they do, and it can be very difficult not just for a studio but any big company to innovate and be scrappy like a startup. And everybody in Web3 is a startup. So the fact that they're doing what they're doing at the level they're doing it at, I mean, and I'm not just saying this to sort of toot Palm's horn or DC's horn, but I don't think I've seen a project at the scale of Cowls from another studio in terms of the roadmap and all of the stuff that we try to do. And that's not to knock anyone. I want to see those, but I've seen some amazing projects. I think, obviously Vivi's doing some amazing stuff. Rico's doing some amazing stuff with different studios. People are doing it, but Warner Brothers, I really do think they're way out front on this, and they should be. They should be really proud of where they're at.
Great answer, sir. More than I could ever ask for. You always deliver.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You guys all have a great night. Legacy, as always, it's been a pleasure.
Hey, as always, Bill's glad to be in the space, man. Appreciate you as always.
Yeah, and I guess the last bit is spatial. I think XR and Ready Player Me are two because as you were talking earlier about like what utility for using these COWLs on a regular basis and also having an environment where people can use them and see them. To me, a combination of those may be a solution for you, your team, to make that kind of virtual event possible using spatial and then using Ready Player Me to get those avatars to have those COWLs.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I think spatial has or is I know it's on their roadmap to integrate Palm, which is the first thing to do. And then the Ready Player Me guys, like Timo and those guys, they're smashing it. Those are teams that we know both of them. It's all possible. There's so many good places now where you could go and do this, right? Like Voxels, Decentraland. There's just all kinds of fun you can go and have there. So we're keen to make that happen too.
Awesome, thank you so much.
With the answer that you provided, Cosmo, about it being a mini drop for those who don't have Cowls, but it being a longer drop for those who do, and with your partnership with Snap, is it possible that we could see a situation where the Snap lens and Harley Quinn season 4 have a relationship that after the episodes there becomes something localized to us all through our Snap lens that our Cowls access, that is how we participate in those drops further?
No. That's really cool. I love that, but I'm just going to tell you, no, that's too complicated. We haven't done that. I love that though. That's a great idea. Like that's where we want to go, right? Like that's where it needs to get to, is absolutely just integrated across every platform. Boom. Here's what I'll say. I'm just going to say again. I'm going to repeat what I said. I said with Harley Quinn, if you have a cowl, the answer to the question, is this something I can mint or is this an airdrop? The answer is yes. It's not either or, it's both. If you don't have a cowl, you can mint a Harley Quinn drop, but you won't get anything airdropped. That's it. That's all I can say.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Okay. Message.
Is the Harley Quinn a one-of-one, kind of like the back house where they're like, randomly generated? or is it more like the fandoms were in categories of like common, uncommon, legendary, or so on? Can you answer that?
I can. I don't think I should. I think it's going to be better if that's a surprise. I think you should see that for yourself.
Come on.
Okay. I like that answer.
Trust me, I'm thinking of you here. I'm trying to make this the best possible experience for you.
I appreciate it. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Okay. And other question is, do you see us getting a Batsuit and a Batmobile NFT to correspond with our Batcowls?
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? I like that. I'll just say again, we designed them to be Metaverse ready.
Let's go.
Love it. Okay, and one last question. Actually, someone from the crowd actually asked me to ask you this question: if the Harley Quinn would be something that could be burned in the bad computer, kind of like the fandoms, the way that you would use the fandoms to burn them to get something else. Would the Harley Quinn be able to work with the bad computer or no?
Good question. Look, I've said this before. I saw people retweeting this today, but I will say this again. The way Overdrive is going to work, like, think about, you need to approach Overdrive the way a 4-year-old would approach a computer, and that is, let me see if this peanut butter sandwich works in here. It doesn't matter if you do this, so it's not just going to be for discs. It's going to work with other things too.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Matt. I appreciate it. Those are all my questions.
Appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
Man, it's not much of a serious question. It's just like a straightforward question. It's just, I don't know if you've answered this before, but is there any reason why we can't see the views or likes on Palm NFT on the NFTs, or is it something that you can bring forward to the marketplace?
Wait, views or likes on the NFTs themselves?
Yeah. You know, like when you go on like OpenSea, you can see the views and the likes. You know, it's just obviously it's just something that, you know, I don't know if you like. As a community, we can show our love, you know, on all the back Cowls. When people come in, they'll see that, you know, there's a certain amount of people. Like, as it grows, it just looks good, in my opinion. But is there a reason why it's not there?
There is a reason why it's there. The reason why it's not there is we launched the Backhouse Marketplace in April. And I can't remember what year it was that OpenSea launched, but they've had a lot longer to develop things. So we've got a full sort of stack of things we want to do to make the experience better in terms of trace sorting and social features and mechanics. And then we've got all the things that we want to do that don't make sense on OpenSea. And those are the things, honestly, we're more focused on. So things like Overdrive or game mechanics or experiences that actually deepen the storytelling. Let me drop. This is, I guess, a little bit. It's not really alpha. It's not like hard information, but I think this is a good perspective to share in terms of how we think about the DC platform. So we've said this before publicly. You guys all know this. Everybody's waiting for this, but there will come a time where you can take your Cowls out of the DC marketplace and move them to other marketplaces. The Palm network is fully EVM compatible. The Ethereum merge is happening, right? ETH2 is coming. Dan, our CEO, was leading the largest team working on Ethereum 2. Like, NFTs are designed to move. We don't want them to be stuck on the DC platform forever. DC doesn't, nobody wants that. We've got some exciting announcements coming on that in the near future. So what is the point of the DC platform? Like, why would you be there? Why would you want your NFTs there at all? Like, that's a question we thought about. If the floor prices are going to be highest on marketplaces with the most amount of utility and the most amount of users, those marketplaces are never going to be the marketplaces that are just for that one project. Even with a fandom the size of DC, right? It's not going to compete with OpenSea. It's not going to compete with Coinbase NFT. It's not going to compete with the people with hundreds of millions of users who are just coming for NFTs or crypto in the case of Coinbase. so what's the platform for? And the answer that the thing that we think about with the DC platform is this is for experiences. This is not, maybe you can buy and sell an NFT here, you can, but that's not the point. The point is this is where the mechanics are. This is where the experience is. This is where all of the things that make this NFT really unique and awesome happen. That's what we need to do here first and foremost. Anything else, OpenSea can do better, or another marketplace can do better. Let's just prioritize pushing the transfer of the NFT over there, because then we don't have to build that. And that's the Web3 thing, right? It's like, how do we all build together as fast as possible? When do we rely on someone else, and when do we build it ourselves? And if you can rely on someone else, do not build it yourself, because we've all got too much to build, and we've got so many things that we want to focus on and build specifically for DC fans, for COWL holders, for this amazing universe we're creating. So, as much as we don't have to focus on the nuts and bolts of an NFT marketplace, and I know, look, we have to do that, right? The experience has got to be on par, and it's got to be what everyone's used to. So there is stuff we have to build and we have built, but going forward, it's like, how do we push the envelope further? Like, how do we build something that's more than an NFT marketplace, and is a place where you can do things to your NFTs. That means, I may not sell my NFT here, or I may not buy my NFT here, but I'm definitely bringing my NFT here because it does stuff here which is really, really awesome. That's how we're thinking about the platform.
So I previously redeemed one of the Batman posters from attending the movie, and that is the only, I suppose, interaction I've had with, the DC Universe NFTs. And just from knowing people part of the community and so on, because I know quite a few from Autograph who have bat Cowls. Is there, for someone potentially interested and who's newer to this marketplace, is there any potential, I'm sure it's been talked about before, but for COWL holders to ever get a physical copy of their bat cowl?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, Nicholas, thank you. Good to have you here. Once again, love everything you guys are doing at Autograph. But yeah, that's come up. That's definitely come up. That's something that we've talked about at length with the team at DC and various ways we could do it. And that stretches from, do you do something that's sort of quite easy to produce and we can make an accessible price point, all the way through to, no, fuck it, let's really do Carrera marble and gold back Cowls. And just, if you want it, it's there. It's $8,000, but it's there. We've had all of these conversations, and we got to get to that at some point, right? We've got to do something, because it's too much fun. We got to do it. I don't know exactly how we're going to do it, but
man, it's so cool seeing all the different PFPs, because they are unique one out of ones. Just as a collector, I have Batman figures and other DC created comics and stuff that I have on display. It would just be really cool to be able to have a bat cowl on display.
And putting yourself in our shoes, because I'm pretty sure nobody expected everything that we've been blessed with. We've been blessed with so much, where would you say we would be at as far as solving the clues? Would you say we would be where you got us? Okay, we got y'all where we want you? Or are we a little bit behind? Or where do you see that? If you can answer that question.
Yeah. The answer is easy. As long as Caitlin Burns works for Palm NFT Studio, you guys are always going to be way behind. And so is everyone else at Palm NFT Studio. because she's that good and she's that relentless, and it's exhausting just watching her work. So yeah, good luck trying to keep up with her.
I love it. Hey, I'm telling you, the answers, they never get dull. You the man. I don't know how you do it, and you sit here and answer all these questions, but I can't thank you enough.
Mate, it's my pleasure. You guys, this is the highlight of my job. Like, just hanging for you guys. This is such a sick community, and every time we hang, it motivates the whole team at Palm to just work harder.
First of all, where do you see Chapter 2 going for Batman: The Legacy, Kyle? How do you see that looking out for us? What can you reveal without going too far beyond the line?
I mean, all I can really say for now is I think it's going to be the follow-up to Chapter 1, and it's really going to set the table for Chapter 3.
Ooh, Chapter 3. I like it, sir. I like it. Thank you. Hey, check it out. So those honorary cowls that DC received and Palm and everything like that, any plans at all to make them maybe accessible to bat cowl holders only, but maybe in the sense like a test filter or something like that?
You mean like honoraries, the couple? We made a handful of honoraries. You mean those ones, like the sort of 10 honoraries we made?
Yeah. Like for me specifically, because I'm a fan of the 1960s, like the one that said, I think, boom or pow on the side like that. Yeah, the one that Jim Lee got, Palm got one, I think Daz got one, maybe Legacy. I'm not sure who else.
Yeah, Legacy got one. DC got one, Daz got one. We did a few that just nobody's ever seen, and I don't even want to say, because I don't want to blow up anybody who didn't. Like, honoraries are a funny thing, but yeah, there's definitely some good ones that I'd love to show the world at some point, where you guys would be like, wait, what? They have an honorary? But yeah, it's definitely a delicate dance with honorary sometimes.
Meet Angel.
Hey, Matt. You know, I'm the cowl you have is growing on me, man. You should put it on the floor. But the question that I have is coming from one of the guys down there, NFT Thinker. His question is this: is Palm NFT working on a rarity tool for rating the cowls according to materials and the eye, the jaws, and all that stuff? That's the first question. Go ahead.
Not right now. We're working on something else.
Okay. The second is NFT Tinker is working on one right now. I think he's free to do that. Correct?
Yeah. Listen, if you can put that together from the data that's out there and build something, I'm not going to stop you. I think it's a good idea. We've definitely seen people building things around the marketplace, bot cows and other things where it's like, yeah, this is super useful. Like, we didn't build this, and if we took it to DC's lawyers and said, hey, what do you think about this? They might feel a way about it or something, but I don't think so. I think people are just, we're really grateful to see all the stuff the community is doing around bat cows. It doesn't.
Sorry.
No, you go. I talk too much. Go.
No. Actually, just because I don't want to lose this one, and I've been talking to Glitch, the guy that made that song that you guys like a lot, and I told Glitch, next time Matt is around, I'm gonna ask Matt if maybe he can move, his influences around Palm NFT and DC that might be able to grant Glitch the rights on that song right there, because he uses the word bad cows. And I know that he doesn't want to get in trouble because it's IP, there's copyright and things like that. But I don't know, you can maybe move, your influences around, so maybe he can have the right to that song. But go ahead.
Listen, I love that song. I think I don't know if there'd be an issue with saying the word back cows. Like, definitely you'd want to try and get the cosign from DC. I think the big issue with the song, honestly, like, taking my I love that song and I'm a huge fan hat off and putting my IP lawyer hat on, is it's got samples in it from the film. That would be the hard thing to clear. And that would be the thing that I think DC or Warner Brothers would say, you know what, this is going to be tough because we've got to go and ask 100 people about this. That would be the hard bit. But, the song itself, no, I love it. I saw the video from the Broadside rave last week where they dropped it and we've got like 2 reloads, and it was just like, this is amazing. Like seeing people actually play it in Metaverse parties and things. I think that's just like, I'm a fan. I'm gonna do everything I can to keep pushing that. And if I can see any type of moment anywhere along the journey where DC needs some music, that's gonna always be suggestion number 1. Because if there's if we can get it in something, yeah, let's get it in there. Let's get it cleared. It's a great idea.
Thank you, Matt. Go ahead, Legacy. Keep rolling with the Iron Fist.
2 quick questions, Matt. For our collections on NFT, DC Universe, do you know if they're going to organize our collection for us? Because it's like a suggestion, because it'd be easy for us to search our collection if they have it organized.
Yeah, no, that's a great. I've been thinking the same thing, honestly. Like I scroll through mine and it's like it's not in order, and I wanted it to be in order of collections or feel it a certain way. Look, yeah, all that stuff is definitely it is stuff we can do. It's just about getting to it. And the giant project that cannot be mentioned is standing in front of everything else we're doing for DC, because we're trying to get you guys something in a certain amount of time, in a very short amount of time, that's going to be pretty game changing for the platform, and we hope for NFTs.
Great, I appreciate that. And my last question is about the sigils. I know for each cowl, you want to have the sigil to correspond with that cowl. Now, what if you have 2 cowls? Do you still need to have 2 of the same sigils? If you have 2 cowls and you have 1 sigil?
So there's 2 cows. Well, it depends if they're 2 cows from the same district.
Do you need 2 sigils then? Yes.
No, you just need 1 sigil per district.
Okay. Gotcha. That was it.
But look, the only thing I'll say with that is, just for like with some of the things that we've built foundations, and we don't yet know exactly which way we're going to start building up on those foundations in terms of experiences and game mechanics that will come later. And things move pretty fast in this space. Things move really fast at DC, and in terms of like feature development at Palm and how we're thinking about things. So we might have built a foundation for something now, assuming it's going to work one day and one way, and quite often that will change. Usually, and usually for the better. But just take everything I say with a pinch of, I don't know the future type salt. Like, it's going to change even if I think it's going to go one way.
Things could change.
Oh, okay, great. Cause I was just wondering, that means I have 2 night watches with that 1 sigil, right?
Yeah, if you've got 2
cows,
2 cows and 1 sigil,
right?
For right now, that's fine for everything you can do right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
A bit off the topic. I know you're kind of tired to talk about bad cows and all that. So, how do you feel now after a couple of years of the Pirate's Dilemma book that you wrote down? How you feel about that whole idea now? What is your take now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I haven't really thought about that. So, look, I don't know if everybody in the space knows what you're talking about, so I'll just do a quick. So I wrote a book in 2008, which feels like that is an eternity ago, called The Pirate's Dilemma, which was about the sort of where we're at in web, the beginning of Web 2, I guess, or Web 1 even at that point, was what is going to, the dilemma was, should you fight piracy or should you try and live with it? Should you try and compete with piracy? And like at that time, that was right around iTunes was coming out, Spotify was just getting started. All of these services were coming out in music that looked like file sharing sites. Like iTunes was designed after a file. It was designed to look like BitTorrent, which I ended up working for BitTorrent after writing the Pirate's Dilemma. So look, piracy's been a way of life for me since I was a kid. Like, grew up on pirate radio, wrote a book about piracy as a business strategy because it was an effective strategy for us to grow Rewind magazine. Went and worked at BitTorrent. I still love piracy. I think it's such an interesting, like, it's a symptom. It shows you that a market's not working properly. So it's always an opportunity to go and do the things that the pirates are doing. And I don't think that's changed. I just think, like Netflix was designed after illegal streaming TV sites. Like all of the things that we take for granted now is just, this is the infrastructure of the internet and, global multi-billion-dollar companies. It was all built off the backs of piracy. And that's always been true. The US was founded on ignoring the European patent and copyright system. The word Yankees comes from the Dutch word Janke, Janke, which translates as pirate, because that's what the Dutch used to call Americans, because they would not recognize any of their copyright laws or patent laws. That's how the Industrial Revolution happened in America. So sorry, you set me up on a long one here, but no, I still feel the same about that. And I think NFTs throws a really interesting wrench in that, right? Because the internet was just the world's ultimate copying machine. Anything you want, you can copy it infinitely, instantly, and it's worthless. And NFTs has flipped that, and it's like, no, you can copy it instantly and infinitely. You can right click all day, and now it's still worth something. That's crazy. That's the next evolution, and that, it makes no sense to most people because we've all grown up with the internet as the ultimate copying machine. But it makes total sense when you think about all of the things that we value. Like, none of them really have any intrinsic value. Unless it's like fresh water or, certain element or things that we really need, food or whatever. It's all just stuff we confer value to, right? So it makes total sense. NFTs make total sense. And I think it makes the whole sort of question around piracy, it makes it more interesting. Like, you can do all this stuff, you can copy things, you can rip things off, but now you're just creating new opportunities for NFT projects as well as all these other sort of Web 2 things or things in the physical world. And if any of this stuff is interesting to you, get yourself a broadside NFT is all I'll say, because there's going to be a world unfolding that you'll need to hold one of those things, where this is absolutely the whole nature of this debate. Like, what happens next? Like, I talked with Charlie a lot for years and years and years, and I never wrote a follow-up to Pirate's Dilemma, but I feel like Broadside, if I'd done it, it would be that. So yeah, I love this question.
Hey, thank you, Matt. And you're welcome to come anytime to go over the Broadside and your book and how you feel about piracy and even soccer. We won't ask questions about Cowls, though.
Yeah. Feel comfortable. I'm here for all of it.
All right, y'all. So, go live for a second. What's good, y'all? Who's still here, man? Who's still here with me, man? I'm telling you, man, if you don't have a bad cow, I'm not saying, I'm just saying, man, do your research. This thing is gonna take off sooner than later, in my opinion. I'm gonna keep on putting that alpha out there. I'm gonna keep on putting that information out there so people can hear from Matt Mason, because every time he speaks, we get a little bit, we get more nuggets, we get more alpha, and everything helps to understand how big this project is gonna be. I think I know enough. I'm still trying to get as many cows as I can, affordably, responsibly. That's just me, because I know what's going on. But yeah, man, hopefully you guys have a cow, all 6 of you who are still listening. And if you don't, I have a playlist where
You know, you can hear every previous AMA from the very beginning. You can hear my initial thoughts. You know, if you check out that playlist, it should be in order from my very first video to the very last video that I've done with the Bad Cowls. If you want to join the Twitter Spaces, you can follow me on Twitter. And what's up, the Red Julius? What's up? Nice. You got 2. Hey man, you only need 1. So you above average. You only need 1 cow to participate, my friends. You only need 1 cow. What's up, Smurf? What's up, Smurf Dabs? But yeah, Bad Cows, man. I think they're going to be huge. So like I said, if you have no idea what the cows are, check out my Bad Cow playlist. Take the time to look it up. I'm not saying it's the next Bored Apes, but I kind of just did, didn't I? But anyway, like I said, if you want to follow me on Twitter and hop into the Twitter Spaces. Let me show you what Twitter Spaces are up here. This is Twitter Spaces. So I'm usually in the Bad Cow Twitter Spaces almost every day. So if you want to find me, that'll be an easy way to find the Bad Cow Twitter Spaces where you can get more information from the Bat Fam. You know, we're a tight-knit community. You know, we're growing by the day. People are buying Bad Cows left and right. So like I said, I'm not here to convince anybody. I'm just putting out the information and letting you guys decide for yourselves, you know, what the Bad Cow thing might be. So that being said, I'm going to hop to the space and hang out with the Bat Fam and see what they're talking about. And yeah, man, until next time, peace out and huddle strong. And remember that I'm not a financial advisor because I am learning just like you guys. I am just your friendly neighborhood genius. Sharing his thoughts and opinions on this awesome project known as the Bad Cowls. So take everything that you hear from me with a grain of salt because things could change. And with that being said, thank you guys once again for watching, and I will catch you guys later in my next video. Until then, peace out and huddle strong. And yeah, man, to the Batmobile. Peace out.